Hi, my name is Tori Schindler-Cox. I'm the Virginia G. Schrader Curator of Art at the Evansville Museum. And today in our telecast, we have Noah. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to pass it on to you.
My pleasure. Yeah, I'm Noah Stubbs, and I'm the Director of Communication for Evansville Mayor Lloyd Winnecke and the City of Evansville. And primarily my job, what I've been, if you would have talked to me, if we would have talked about 2 months ago, I would have had some quippy answer that would, I would say something like you, I'm a bit of a curator myself, curating and sharing the vibrancy and progress that our city is going currently or had been currently going through right now. It's the COVID-19 crisis. Our office has quickly transitioned into just a source of information, the latest and accurate information for our local response for the pandemic. Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting. So can you tell me a little bit more about what type of local response are you seeing in the Evansville community?
Well, last month, our office was very proactive in partnering with the two major local hospital systems, Ascension St. Vincent and Deaconess, our local Vanderburgh County commissioners, which is the other major executive office, elected office, of which there are 3 elected officials, our Vanderburgh County Health Department, our local school systems, universities and public school systems and the parochial school systems, as well as nonprofits, and coming up with an initial response. It kind of kicked off with a press event, which we actually held in this room. I'm in the mayor's conference room right now.
Okay, great.
As I am an essential worker, I do work from home, but I usually spend about half of my day in the office. But we kicked off a press event just as soon as we knew and talked to our local health officials, and knowing that this crisis would come to our community. And we had our local hospital and health officials explain to the public very clearly and plainly what their expectations and what their initial plans were. And that was very informative. Since then, they've taken their own torch in doing daily. I know that Deaconess does daily updates. The Vanderburgh County Health Department has up to the hour reports on positive cases and a lot of other resources and information. We then reached out to our local nonprofits, knowing that this would heavily and greatly impact not only their organizations, but especially those social service organizations that really do one-on-one work with community residents and community members, providing food assistance and home and shelter assistance, reaching out to them and finding out the best solution, and providing as much help as we could, and anticipating gaps within our community through those nonprofits. And we created a response, or a COVID-19 relief fund, of which initial partners and other private donors initially committed, I think it was $1.2 million. And all of that money, they're looking to raise about $6 million. All of that money will go to those organizations, nonprofit organizations and charities that will directly help folks during and after this crisis is over with. From there, here in the office and with city government operations, we closed down the Civic Center administration building. So most of our workers here are working from home. We have encouraged our residents who need to do business with the city and all of the departments that we have to, most of what you can do here in the building now, thanks to the power of the internet, you can do that online. So we're encouraging our residents to utilize those services. We have them all listed on our website, and that's evansvillegov.org/online services. And we'll continue as Governor Holcomb has and potentially could extend the stay-at-home order. We'll have those services available, and we are yeah, just rolling along best we can here in providing, essential services like trash pickup and water, sewer, utility work, and yeah, all the other things that we provide to the city.
That's amazing. I don't know if you caught the telecast where Governor Holcomb specifically said, "Thank you, Evansville," and talked about the Crisis Relief Fund and the good work you guys were doing. But that was
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, and thanks to United Way and Wellburn Baptist Foundation, were two of the key, and I'm not going to mention all the initial partners, but they were the two initial partners that really got things off the ground. And United Way will be the supervisor of the relief fund and taking donations, and then eventually well, I think they're actually currently in the application process in accepting applications from nonprofits and deciding which of these local organizations need those benefits the most. Governor Holcomb has been I think along with our local officials, I think we're really lucky here locally. Our community so far, while it has been impacted greatly, we haven't had number of reported cases are relatively low, and I personally I think we can attribute that just as a community to just the proactive measures that we've taken so far, and I've had a front row seat to seeing my boss, Mayor Winnecke, other local elected officials, the health officials, and local school officials, all collectively coming together to just come up with that initial response and that continuing response that we've had. I think is really it says something about just our community and just how we can just collaborate and come together in times of need.
Oh, absolutely. And that's definitely makes us proud too to be a resident of Evansville. So definitely we thank you for you guys and your services. Because like you said, being able to contain and be proactive is how we stop this sooner than later. So we're grateful. Now, out of curiosity, when it comes to the nonprofits, and I'm not sure if you can comment on this, and you're just heading who gets this money and the relief, has there been any push for nonprofits, or maybe like what are they doing, the nonprofits that work with the homeless populations of Evansville?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah. Certainly, I think some of that relief fund will go to those agencies and homeless shelters, and I would assume that probably some of that funding will go to some of those services here locally. And to push, I'll come back to the funding, but one thing I forgot to mention is that our Evansville-Vanderburgh County Commission on Homelessness, actually within a week's time of us knowing that there could be a potential major outbreak, we're looking at a lot of other communities that just across the country where low income and people experiencing homelessness in communities, outbreaks happen in a homeless shelter or within that population, and then will quickly spread just given the nature of their closeness, and just how they just their current situations. So our Commission on Homelessness and partnering with the local homeless shelters, United Caring, and the Rescue Mission, and then Deaconess helped us out, Echo Community Health helped us out, but we all collectively came together, and probably the most important mention is the Catholic Diocese provided their Sarto Retreat Center, and this is a 55-room dorm-style facility where people who need isolation, who otherwise wouldn't have it, specifically people who are currently experiencing homelessness, if they are awaiting test results or if they're fighting the symptoms of this virus, they can self-isolate, get a meal, just have some isolation and some quiet and recovery during this time. But that all came together within a week's time, and it has been utilized. Fortunately, up until this point, to my knowledge, we actually have not had a positive test within the homeless community, the homeless population here locally. But that's one major thing that's a major win for our community, and that facility is to my knowledge is the first in the state. We kind of put it all together just as quick as we saw what was happening in other communities. But going back to funding, the relief fund will, I would assume, go to some of those agencies specifically. And then one thing to note is that we're starting to get a better idea of what the federal government is doing in terms of the response, and likely I think you'll see a lot of those homeless shelters and other agencies support agencies receiving federal funding as well.
Yeah, which is massive. I'm sure I'm sorry, just still thinking on that, the Catholic Diocese, that is absolutely kind. And this is the first time even hearing about that. So if anyone is interested to find more information, would that resource be on your website as well?
Yeah, we put it out on our website, and we're certainly grateful for the diocese and partnering with us. They did not have to do that, but I think they saw a need to give themselves or their facility in service, and we're grateful for that.
Absolutely. Now, is there any issues right now with food banks or any type of those food industries that try to give to people in need because of the COVID-19 and that direct contact and possibly lack of PPE?
Sure. I think that there's always a need, but in terms of what's being done with providing that gap in food assistance, there are several things that are going on. Our local school corporation has been providing grab-and-go lunches. This is a service that through the USDA that they usually do during the summer months to provide meals to kids who sort of rely on that school lunch or breakfast, and maybe mom and dad or grandma and grandpa are tight for cash. This is a program that normally happens during the summertime. Since the schools have closed, they have opened this program back up, and at select EVSC schools, I still think it's going on, but every day they provide a lunch for anyone under 18. You don't have to be a EVSC student. You can go and get a lunch if you are physically present. Mayor Winnecke and I, a couple weeks ago, went to Cedar Hall Community School, of which I serve on the site council. And during our lunch break, we actually assembled over 300 breakfasts and lunches. In addition to that, the Junior League has been they've stepped up. They provide a similar grab-and-go lunch services through, I believe it's like a food truck setup, and they go to targeted neighborhoods periodically and provide that similar service. The big one, though, and this is a collaboration between Junior League and our city council president, Alex Burton, and a few others. These community organizers created Feed Evansville, and they're providing grab-and-go lunches to anybody during the lunch hours. They've been at CK Newsom Center and a couple other churches around town, just providing, during one of my lunch breaks, I helped pass out lunches in front of the CK Newsom Center with Feed Evansville. But they're providing those lunches for anybody in need. There's no restriction. You can just go and grab what you need. But that's been huge, and they've relied heavily on nonprofits and businesses to donate food and supplies. I know that a lot of local restaurants who have excess, and I think there was one that had an excess in to-go containers, donated to-go containers for those grab-and-go lunches. In addition, they also, through their Facebook page, have curated a list of pantries and other places where you can get a free meal if you need it during this time.
Wow, that's unbelievably kind. It's great to see
Yeah.
everyone doing all these partnership opportunities in spite of this pandemic. So it's heartwarming to know that our community cares and is doing the best they can to give back. Now, out of curiosity, what type of programs are you working on right now?
So we're still through Facebook, through our local media, community media partners, the TV stations, the newspapers, and radio. On an almost daily basis, we have something to share with the community, something that's going on. We're going to continue to bring, our country is a republic, and even here locally, it's imperative that we continue to provide accurate and up-to-date information for our residents. That's the best way to make this all work. So we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to practice calm and what positivity we can in spite of the fact that this is a crisis. Yeah, and then we're going to start focusing eventually. Probably within the week, we're going to start focusing on just the aftermath of all this, and what in terms of our budget, in terms of our current city operations, what we can our goal is to make this seamless and still providing the same services that we provide to our residents. And then further facilitate a plan to get our city and to get our community moving again, get people back to work, get people, back in restaurant seats, get people back into movie theaters. I drive every day. I drive by my favorite movie theater that I've gone to. I'm from Evansville. I haven't left. And I live in the same part of town that I grew up in currently. And every day I drive by my childhood movie theater and I see that it's closed. And just thinking about that, that's a house, that's a facility that created so much inspiration and provided so much inspiration and ideas and thoughts and just creative direction. And I'm excited to even go back to the movies. But yeah, just getting everybody back on track as best we can. I think that we, as a community and as a country, will probably walk away from this. Things are not going to be the same. There are some things that are going to be different. But just getting back to what normal we can, and that's our overall big picture item moving forward.
Absolutely. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers today?
Yeah, just continue to stay at home. I know that that can be difficult it's difficult for me. I spent my weekend at home and almost lost my mind, but I'm still here.
Yay.
Stay home. Don't go out unless you need to. Continue to follow trusted sources for the latest information on all of this. Continue for those of you who are, I'm seeing a lot of people actually exercise their artistic side, and I'm seeing people paint and draw and make music on social media. I'd say continue to do that. I love seeing stories and people exercising their creativity. I would encourage our entire community to keep doing that. Yeah, we're going to get through this.
Absolutely. Well, Noah, I definitely appreciate your time. This is very insightful, and I can ask you questions all day, but so definitely we'll look forward to some follow-up conversation. But just a reminder to our viewers, this is an Evansville Museum recording, and Noah, thank you again for your time.
Thank you.